Marco Verratti to leave Paris Saint-Germain? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be answering in this video, so make sure to stay tuned. Marco Verratti was signed to Paris Saint-Germain from Pescara in 2013 and ever since has been pretty much nearly a club legend at the club, nearly 10 years at this club, and has bled his heart, bled, his mind, everything. He's put in so much energy for this club, but at the moment it looks likely that a Marco Verratti departure this summer will happen. So here are the reports that we will be going through. So the first one is saying, PSG info, Marco Verratti is considering leaving Paris Saint-Germain. No longer feeling welcome and finding the current climate deleterious and hostile towards him, Verratti is thinking of asking for his departure in the coming weeks. Paris will not retain him if he finds himself there financially. Real Madrid via Carlo Ancelotti met the player in Napoli during the international break in March. The coach explained to Marco that he saw himself leaving at the end of the season and that he was not the privileged interlocutor, but that Real Madrid not insensitive. The preferred options remain Juventus and Inter Milan, who need to slim down but who would be delighted to welcome him. Marco is leaning towards Turin, which has submitted a very attractive financial offer and an ambitious sports project. Motta tells him about Inter. On the Paris side, the rumor about the meeting with Carlo is starting to go up. Campos would not say no. He who believes that Verratti has had his day in Paris and that he symbolizes the failures of the club in the Champions League. He wants to rebuild the squad and the midfield in depth. The players no longer appreciates the climate and departure of some. The player feels caught up in vice and has also hung out with certain characters in recent days. So what these reports tells us is that Marco Verratti, obviously they were in this protest. It wasn't just Neymar and Messi's name. It was also Marco Verratti who was slandered by the ultras and has been getting a lot of critique recently from the Paris Saint-Germain fan base. But I believe this protest and his name being mentioned there has been the top of the mountain, top of the iceberg. Now Marco Verratti is really thinking about leaving, even though he extended at this club not so long ago until 2026. Marco Verratti, as we all know, has been here for such a long time, but at the moment is looking maybe for a way out from Paris Saint-Germain. And the three clubs, as we saw, were Inter Milan, Real Madrid, and Juventus. Obviously Italian, maybe wants to return to Italy, or maybe a big move to Real Madrid. And it would be, I would guess, around the 55 to 70 million mark. He's getting older now. He's at the 30th age, and alongside his injury proneness, I believe 55 million to 70 million is the price you could get for Marco Verratti. But obviously, listen, from a Paris Saint-Germain standpoint, from a Paris Saint-Germain perspective, we need to look at what he gives us and what we will lose if we lose Marco Verratti. So these are his stats compared to the other Paris Saint-Germain players. And as you can see, he's the best in every stats category, apart from third in progressive carries and third in interception. He's clear of every single other midfielder, which means that we need to buy, 4 great midfielders to replace him and replace everybody else. And that is the thing that I'm against this transfer. We have other bigger issues than Marco Verratti. You can talk all negative slack you want by him, but he has by far been our best midfielder compared to the other ones. Obviously, it's not that hard being better than them, but I would say it's much better trying to replace them and improving the other midfield spots than going to sell Marco Verratti. It's a huge risk giving away your best midfielder when the rest of the midfield is trash. It's just a stupid idea to do. And second of all, I wanted to look at his stats compared to last season's, because some people are saying he's in a decline, he's going down. And as we can see here from progressive passes, this is the highest it has been in 4 years' time. Obviously, the 18-19 season stands out as his best season at Paris Saint-Germain. But as you can see, his progressive passes have not gone down, and we haven't even played the end of the season. There are still games left this season. Tackles made one. A lot of people are talking about his tackling, but as you can see, his tackling win/made tackles are pretty much the same. Obviously, successful take-ons. This is the one that has really plummeted this season, but I believe it's more because he's playing a much more deeper role. As you can see, he has a 50% successful take-on compared to 80% which we had before. But this is for me the most important stat, and is the XG when on the pitch. When Marco Verratti is on the pitch, Paris Saint-Germain have 0.5 extra XG, which is the highest he has ever had at Paris Saint-Germain, just showing how important he is to our midfield, and that's why we cannot lose Marco Verratti this season. And obviously a lot of people talk about injuries, but this season he's missed 6 games. 6 games he's missed. Mbappe, I believe, has missed more games. Marco Verratti has only missed 6 games. A lot of people talk about injuries and so on. He hasn't really missed that many games. All the big games, he was there. Both Marseille games, he was there. No, 3 Marseille games, he was there. He was there against Benfica in both games. He was there versus Bayern in both games. So injury-wise, that's not a valid argument for Verratti, at least for this season. Obviously, the 2 mistakes he made against Benfica in the group stage and then against Bayern München in the round of 16 have been crucial, big mistakes in 2 important games that would have changed the season if they were not made by Marco Verratti. But I still think that these 2 mistakes can happen to anybody, and we should not be blinded by these 2 mistakes and don't look at all the other great stuff he's done for our club. And obviously the last thing that a lot of people are looking at recently is the report that came out that Marco Verratti returned to the Camp de Lodge after the World Cup break weighing 4 extra kg. But my opinion on all of this Marco Verratti stuff is that, as I said before, it is really stupid. We have a dog shit midfield. It's by far the worst area we have in our entire field, and we're gonna sell him? No. Like, even money-wise, what we will get for him, it's just much better selling Fabian and Soler. You're pretty much getting the same amount. Verratti is still an unbelievable midfielder. Sure, after the World Cup, he's not been performing as he usually does. But that shouldn't blind people away. He still has the qualities. He just needs to up it now. And he knows that people are critiqueful of him and so on. I just hope that Marco Verratti thinks what he wants. Luis Campos, it looks like he really wants to take everybody out of the club. Obviously, Neymar Jr., Messi, now Verratti. A lot of stuff are happening behind the scenes. But I really want the best for Marco Verratti. He's a player that deserves our respect. He's done so much for this club. And people going out and slandering his name and critiquing all of that is absolutely disgusting to pretty much a club legend at this club. So Marco Verratti, I hope that he stays for next season. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think? Would you sell Verratti for the right price? And should Paris Saint-Germain sell him? That was it. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the PSGINT YouTube channel. As always, allez Paris.